Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 256. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 reasons why Kara Bitar is so badass. If you missed the last episode, Kara is an optimization coach, and she really helps people to live their best life and to uncover the secrets that help them to live their best life and the best version of themselves. So we'll definitely talk about the 3 reasons why Kara Bitar is so badass. Yeah, go back and listen to the last episode. It was pretty good. All right, coming up with O to B, we are going to have a Master Your Money workshop. November 18th through the 20th. I am super excited. I will put the link in the notes here and sign up. Sign up today. You are not going to want to miss it. There are so many badass women that are speaking at this event. I love it. So here's the thing. It's going to be recorded. There's going to be recorded videos that you can watch, but watch with me. Let's watch it live. Sometimes those experts are going to show up and talk to you, and other times we're going to have a chat. We're going to go into breakout rooms or talk in the main Zoom room, and let's just talk about our experience or what we thought or what questions we have, and get some ideas out there. Get our questions out there. A lot of times, finances are not something that is talked about. And regardless, if you are in debt right now or you're building wealth, let's figure out the next best step. And these experts are the way to do so. And community. Community is 100% the way to do so. And there's going to be other badass women like you and me that are going to be there. So sign up for that workshop today. It's going to be epic. You're not going to regret it. Especially, you're going to get a leg up on everybody else. Because everybody else is going to wait till after the new year to think about anything about their finances. And you're going to get a leg up by starting now, getting ahead of the game, and getting your questions answered. So click the link and sign up because it's going to be amazing. Okay, with that, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Episode number 256. In this episode, you are going to hear 3 reasons why Kara Bitar is so badass. So make sure that you give it a listen. Go back, listen to the other episode. But we're going to share the badass things. But before we get there, we have a segment. It's a newer segment. And if you tuned in last week, you know about it. But if you didn't, then this could be new to you. So today, real or real fake? Now, this is where we talk about things and whether we think it's real or whether we think it's fake. So real fake, you tell me. I want to hear your feedback. So when it comes to leather jackets, women in leather jackets equaling a badass. If you followed the Ordinary to Badass podcast for any time, you probably already know my opinion on this, but I want to hear your opinion. So when women wear a leather jacket, do you think that that makes them badass? Do you think that makes them real? Or real fake? Now, I'm just putting this in the term of like, if that really makes them a badass or not. Typically in society, when women are badasses, you're going to see them with a leather jacket, with a motorcycle or a cigarette, something maybe really buff, have a lot of muscles, right? They're more tough seeming. And that's how society portrays it. So do you think that a symbol like a leather jacket, a motorcycle can make you a badass? Do you think that's real or real fake? Or do you think on the flip side, like that it's real fake, as in that's not what makes you a badass? That you could be a badass and have a leather jacket, but it's not the actual badass that makes you like have some swagger. I don't really know what this was. We can ignore that. I did a little weird, awkward shoulder shrug. So, yeah. if you're wearing a leather jacket, you could still be a badass, but it doesn't make you a badass. Now, I know, I believe that the leather jacket is real fake. Not calling it pleather, but I'm saying that doesn't make you a badass, right? There are so many other things like mindset and confidence that make you a badass. And it's not about the symbols, it's not about the leather jacket or the motorcycle. But I want to know from you, what do you think? Do you think a leather jacket makes you real or real fake? Just in terms of badassery, right? I own a leather jacket. That's just not what makes me a badass, right? But again, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you think it, like a leather jacket is real or real fake, let me know. And you can hit me up on IG. Let me know on Spotify. There's going to be a poll going on in Spotify. And I want to hear from you because your input means the world to me. With that, let's get to the 3 reasons why Kara Bitar is so badass. Now, the first reason why she's badass is for quitting. The second reason why she's a badass is because the internal work that she did, right? So quitting, internal work, and then the third reason why she's a badass is because she ignored society, right? And yeah. All right, so let's dive into the number one thing, how she quit. I love how Kara just up and quit her corporate job. Now, she was a attorney or a litigator, and she was kicking butt on by all appearances. Everybody from the outside would have been like, "Oh yeah, Kara's kicking butt." And really, it didn't align with her. It didn't feel right to her. And she kept thinking like, I can't do this. And she said she had to go through that for years to just sit there and try to figure it out, try to figure out what she wanted until finally she was like, I can't do this anymore. Now, this can apply to any area of your life. This doesn't just have to apply to your job, right? Maybe you're doing something that no longer serves you. Maybe it no longer aligns with your values. Or maybe it's not even that drastic. It's just something that you're not into anymore, right? And you want to move on, you want to do something different, but it's hard to say it. It's hard to speak up. The longer that you've done something, the harder it is to say, no, I'm out. But Kara did that. And she said that during that time, she felt like a failure. She felt all this guilt and the shame and really felt bad about leaving her job because this was the corporate job she had wanted forever. She always had wanted to be an attorney since she was a child. And she got it. So she felt like, oh, you should be grateful. But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes our dreams change, and you're allowed to change your dreams. So, what are you doing right now that no longer works for you, that no longer aligns with who you are or who you want to be? And the cool thing that Kara said was like, okay, even if you feel like you're failing, even if you feel guilty for leaving or changing, doing something different, that's okay. She's like, it might not feel like a badass in the moment, but when you look back on it, that's when you're like, oh man, that was pretty badass. I really had courage to do that, right? You can see those things. And I loved how she said that you can see those things in retrospect, how you were a badass. It just doesn't feel like it in the moment. And so it's kind of like a Benjamin Button, right? Like living life in reverse. And then you can see all of the badassery and all the hard work and like tenacity or the courage it took to speak up and to not do what everybody else is doing. And so Kara had the courage to say, this attorney thing no longer works for me. I don't want to do it anymore. And guess what? She didn't have to. And there was freedom once she quit, once she left her job. So be a quitter. That's the lesson. We grow up thinking quitting is a bad thing. There's a negative connotation with giving up, with quitting. And it's like, you're supposed to feel bad or you're supposed to feel bad about yourself for quitting. Well, guess what? Not stinking true. There is a time to quit for everything. Now, if you're just quitting because it's a little bit hard, Maybe you don't. Because some of that hard stuff builds resilience, builds character. And if it's new and it's hard, well, maybe that's good for you to stick around. But if you're quitting because something no longer aligns with you, if you're quitting because it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for your lifestyle, it doesn't work for the future you, for who you want to be, then that's cool. Quit all day long. So long as it isn't out of just fear or like lack of confidence or terrified to do something, you can push past those things. And the more that you decide to push past those things, the easier it will get, or at least the easier it'll get to attempt it, right? To be okay with failure, to be okay with quitting, with leaving. We're just humans. We're learning. Instead of it being like some big technical thing that we have to figure out, or like some like, I need the best wisdom in the world. No, we're humans. We're learning. So quit away, right? If something doesn't work with you, if it doesn't align with you, quit that job, quit that hobby, quit that volunteer thing you're doing that just doesn't work for you anymore. All right. Second reason why Kara Bitar is so badass. Now, I love this because Kara made herself a priority. Kara was getting to know herself. Really, after she quit her job, she was like, okay, what do I want? What do I want? And it seems like we should all know ourselves. We should be familiar with ourselves because we lived with ourselves for our whole life. But as Kara pointed out, we don't always pay attention to ourselves. We don't always listen to our intuition. And so your intuition could be telling you things, and because you've ignored it so long, it could just be off, right? And so she took like a year to figure herself out, to understand, who am I? What am I going through? What do I want? And kudos to her for taking the time for herself, even when she kept feeling like, crap, this isn't working. I don't know what to do. She still pushed through. She still tried to figure out what the heck it was that she was doing. And like, okay, what else can I do? What can I try now? And it ended up being like Kundalini yoga, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But it ended up being that form of yoga that like that helped her move out of the funk she felt like she was in, and really understand, like in a deep rooted way, who she was and what she wanted. So the movies would have you think that you should understand yourself overnight. You should know your mission, know what you're up against, and just go for it, right? If you want your passion, if you want to know what your dream is, it's going to come to you overnight. But that's not necessarily true. Sometimes you got to search for it. You got to really go out there and look for it. And it might not be easy. So you go through some of those hard times, but those hard times build grit, build character. And then even if you don't know what you want, you're going out trying different things. And that's a process of elimination, right? You go try one thing, it gives you no answers. Go try another thing, it gives you no answers. Try another thing, still no answers. Okay, try something else. Like sometimes it's a matter of trial and error. And we just forget that we can do trial and error. We don't have to be perfect all the time. We don't have to have everything figured out. When is the last time something went 100% according to plan for you? I don't know about you, but it just doesn't seem to work that way. Nothing goes according to plan, right? You kind of just have to figure it out as you go. So I don't know where we got this idea in our head that we could figure it out, that we could just think it all through and solve the solution in our head no matter what, and everything would go perfect always. Not realistic, right? But learn who you are. Learn how to identify yourself or identify with yourself, and what are the things that are important to you, what are the things that are not important to you. But really get clear on who you are and what you want. And there's nothing to feel bad about for making yourself a priority and for taking time to do the things that you want to do as opposed to what everybody else wants to do. All right. Third thing is that Kara Bitar did that I loved. She ignored society. She did not do what everybody else wanted her to do, right? She ignored what the popular thing was. She ignored what the cool thing was and did what she wanted. And she was like, just because society says something is normal doesn't mean that it is. That's somebody else's definition of normal. It doesn't have to be yours. Or when you just keep getting this feeling like there's something more out there, there's got to be something more for me. Guess what? You have that urge for a reason. You have that feeling for a reason. So instead of trying to be like, oh, I should fit in, I should do what my family wants me to do, my friends, my coworkers, this is the normal thing. Being an attorney is the cool thing, right? I should just go along with that and do that because that's what everybody else is doing, or that's what everybody around me is doing. Should just fit in, regardless if it rubs against you or not. Nope, not how it works. If you want the gold at the end of the rainbow, then you're probably going to have to work for it, right? You're going to have to do the internal work, even when it's stinking hard, even when you're not sure what to do next. You keep doing the work because life's not perfect. It's not going to come out like your mom's going to tell you what to do and that's going to be how the rest of your life goes, right? Unfortunately, your parents probably won't always be there for your whole life. You got to make your own decisions, or your friends or your significant other. They're not necessarily going to know what's best for you. They can give you their perspective on what's cool or what might work, but that doesn't mean that it's legit. That doesn't mean that it's going to resonate with you or that it's your right path. I could sit here and tell you, oh, do this. This is what you should do. Is it going to be right? Nope. Because you got to figure out what aligns with you, what works for you, and what feels right in your gut and your intuition. And stop following this path that everybody else has laid out for you or the path that everybody else is following. That's not your path. Who cares if it's not normal? Celebrate it if it's not normal, right? Be you. Do your thing. Somebody else's path is not for you. So I love that. I loved having Kara on the episode because she kind of just bucked the system and she did what she wanted to do and did it her own way. And even if it was an unconventional way, right? So where in your life are you just following society, following the norms, doing what you think you should do? And what's one small tweak that you can make to change that? And sometimes we just have to take one small step at a time. We think that we have to know the whole path, the whole thing has to be laid out in front of us to do what we want to do. Everything has to be clear. We can control every single situation. It doesn't work like that. So just take one step. Take one teeny tiny step. As my friend Mike Bechtel liked to say, just put your toe over the edge. You don't have to take a running leap out of your comfort zone. You can just put your toe over the edge. So maybe you put your toe over the edge of weird or unusual. You go against the grain, go against the norm, and just see how it feels. See if you like it, regardless of what anybody says to you. Okay, quick recap, 3 reasons why Kara Bitar is so badass. The first reason she's badass is because of quitting. Second reason is for making herself a priority. And the third reason is for how she ignored society. So if you liked the episode, definitely go leave a 5-star rating or review on iTunes. And then if you're feeling extra generous, leave or screenshot it and send it to me on Instagram or Facebook at Ordinary to Badass. It makes me so happy to hear from you and to get your feedback. With that, we'll end the show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.